All right, Fred, talk to me about your working relationship with Susan Rice. It was when you were in the CIA, correct?
Yes, I was a CIA UN analyst, and she was handling UN peacekeeping and UN issues at the National Security Council. I provided her with intelligence. I was on a task force with her. She was behind a program called, or a policy called assertive multilateralism. It was this crazy Clinton plan to try to drastically lower the US defense budget and solve all the UN's problem, all the world's problems with UN peacekeepers, even sending them into civil war situations. And this led to unbelievable disasters in Somalia and in Haiti and in Liberia. And I mean, she was really committed to UN peacekeeping, just like Madeleine Albright. And I fear she became vice president or secretary of state under a President Biden. We'd see these disastrous policies come back.
Right, because I mean, the Clintons and of course Hillary Clinton more specifically is known to be somewhat of a warmonger. Susan Rice was a big part of that. When you did brief her directly, you said that her reaction is something that the American people should know. What was her reaction to that?
Well, she didn't like hearing information that she disagreed with, including intelligence. She was determined to rush through this terrible UN peacekeeping plan, and she tried to exclude government officers who objected to sending UN peacekeepers uh, who are lightly armed into war situations. I was one of them. On another time, I tried to bring her intelligence on UN waste and corruption, and she looked at me with an odd face and said, "Do you know how much a B-1 bomber costs?" And said she didn't want to hear about it. Basically, she was saying, I don't care how much money the UN wastes because the US government wastes more.
Which is, it's beyond shocking to hear that, especially when UN corruption runs deep. It's not just a matter of our money being wasted, which is bad enough. Don't get me wrong. It's taxpayer money that funds the UN, but some of the corruption at the UN, I mean, we've seen just in recent months, the corruption at the World Health Organization acting like, which is an agency of the UN, acting as pawns and a parrot essentially for the Chinese Communist Party. Really awful if you don't care about waste and corruption at the UN. You also said she had an interesting relationship with Hillary Clinton. Explain that.
Well, she had a terrible relationship with Hillary Clinton, and people I know who worked with Rice said it was poisonous. She had a personal relationship with Barack Obama during the campaign, and Obama made her a cabinet member. But Rice technically worked for Hillary Clinton and was supposed to go through her office, but she refused to. She and her staff went around Clinton and her staff constantly. It created a lot of tension between the two offices. And this is a question because if Rice becomes vice president, is she going to be freelancing? Because look, I hate to say, but we know Joe Biden is suffering some kind of mental decline. What will Rice do if she's serving under a very weak Democratic president?